Welcome to the 7th video of the HTML and CSS beginner crash course. In the previous lecture, we talked about inline and block level elements in HTML. In this video, we're going to dive in deeper in CSS display. CSS display refers to the way an element is displayed on the web page. The display property in CSS determines the type of box used to display an element. So it can determine if an element should be displayed as a block, as an inline, or others. So the common values for the CSS display property include 1. Block. This displays element as a block level element, taking up the full width of its parent container. 2 is the inline. Displays the element as an inline element, only taking up the space needed for its content. Third one is inline block. Displays the element as an inline element but allows it to be formatted as a block level element. The fourth is the flex, display flex, and this displays the element as a flexible box, allowing it to adapt to the layout of the page. The fifth one is the grid. Displays element as a grid container, allowing for grid layout. And the sixth one is the display property of none. This hides element and removes it from the document flow. We are going to see some examples now. So first, I'm going to paste this here, and this is a span tag, which says this is a span. And the span tag in HTML is considered an inline element. So I'm just going to save this and I'll preview on the browser. And you can see this is a span. So let's go to the CSS to give it a border styling. And here I'm going to select this and undo this. So here we just target the span tag here. We give it a border styling of 1 pixel solid red. And here we say display block. So first of all, I'm going to comment this out and save. Let's go back to the browser. Now you can see this is an inline element. It does not take up the full width of the parent container, of the parent element. So let's go over to here. In order to change this to a block level element, we're going to use the CSS display property of block. So all we have to do is display and block. And when we preview, you can see this converts this inline element to a block level element. And you can see it takes up the full width of the parent container over here. So next, we're gonna do a p tag, and I'm gonna say this is a paragraph tag. Now we'll go to the CSS file, and I'm gonna target that p tag. And like we did, I'm just gonna give this a border of 1 pixel solid blue and save this. Going to the browser, you can see this is a paragraph tag, and this is a block level element because p tag in HTML is a block level element. But with the CSS display property of inline, we're going to switch this from a block level element to an inline element, and it's no longer going to take up the full width of the parent container. So let's go back here, and all we have to do is display, and I'm going to say inline. And now this is a paragraph, is now an inline element, as you can see over here. So this is how to switch it from a block level element to an inline element using the display property of inline. The next we're gonna do, let's do a huge one. I'll see this is here, heading tag. And over here on our CSS file, I'm gonna target that also and select it and giving it a border. 1px solid, and I'll say green. Save it also. and go over to the browser, and you can see this is a heading tag. So this is by default a block level element because each one is a block level element in HTML. So we're going to use the display property of inline block to make this an inline block element. So what inline block does is to change this to an inline element, but allows it to be formatted as a block level element. So by formatting, I mean we can add width to it, we can add height to it. So we can't do that for this inline element here, but we can do it when we use this inline block. So let's just go to the CSS to make it clearer. So over here, I'm going to do the display, and I'm going to say inline block. And now you can see it has become an inline element. As you can see, it sits side by side to this other inline element, but now we can format it as a block level element. So let's try to do that here. I'm going to add width to it. So I'm going to add a width of, let's say, 100 px and a height of 100 px, and save it. And now you can see, yeah, we have a width and a height, and we can just go ahead to increase this. Let's say 500. And now you can see this has a height and a width because we just formatted it. So this is possible using the inline block element. If I'm to add a width and height to this inline element, it's not going to work. So let's just try that, and I'm just going to copy this to make it easier and save. And you can see there is no effect here, so we can only format it if it's an inline block, or if it's a block level element. So the work of the inline block is to display this as an inline element and allows it to be formatted as a block level element. So I'm just gonna go over and undo and save. So the next I'm gonna show you is the display property of none. As we say, this hides element from document flow. So I'm just gonna do history. I will say this is a second heading tag. Go over here, and I'm going to select it right here on our CSS. Give it a border of 1px solid black, and I'm going to save this. Let's go to the browser, and now you can see it over here. This is a second heading. It shows on this web page, but with the display property of none, it is going to hide this from the document flow. And let's see that now. So all we have to do is go over here, display, and we say display none, and save this. And coming to the browser again, you see we no longer see that second heading tag. If we are to go back to the CSS and comment this, we have it here. If you are to go back and undo and save, we no longer have this here. So this is the work of the CSS display property of none. I hope this is clearer to you now, the CSS display. So in the next tutorial, the next video, I'm going to talk about another display property, and that would be display property of flex, and we're going to be using them as we go along in this tutorial. So we're going to build a simple project to display that. So I'll see you in the next video.